I have such a great recommendation for you today. Not long ago, my friend Charlie gave me a copy of the book, The Lessons of History by Will and Ariel Durant. Will and Ariel Durant, just their biography is interesting. Go on Wikipedia and read a little bit about them. They have a book called The Lessons of History. And the only way I can describe it is it's an incredibly concise summary of culture and civilization of mankind, okay? And it's a dozen or so pretty short essays, 2 to 4 pages each. The book's only about 110 pages, okay? It is written so well. It condenses such complex ideas based on hundreds or even many more years of survey and understanding of humanity into a couple of different pages. It looks at war. It looks at racism. It looks at the history of history. I could not possibly recommend this book more highly because of the way in which it provides perspective about so many of the broader issues that continue to resurface for humans. And, one effort I'm making in terms of what I read, Pat, is I'm thinking we have a limited amount of time to read, right? Well, for anything in life, but reading is one of those things that you're only going to read a certain number of books. And I'm trying to ask myself the question, is the subject matter of the book something that is only relevant based on a fad or trend right now? Or is this a book that is going to be more broadly informative because it relates to areas of the world, areas of life that are either recurring or ever present? And if by that standard, this book should be really close to the top of the list for everybody.
Right, because everyone always talks about history repeating itself.
Yes.
So, for example, Napoleon tried to invade Russia, failed. Hitler tried to invade Russia, also failed. So these things keep happening and take on different forms. And now with the rise of Donald Trump and his authoritarian rhetoric,
yes,
we can look back even just 100 years ago or less and draw comparisons to leaders of other authoritarian regimes.
And the other thing that the book actually, a lot of it applies to what's going on right now. There's one chapter, I forget which chapter or essay it is, and it talks about how fundamentally freedom and equality are opposed forces, maybe not in the literal sense, but if you have total freedom, you're not going to have equality because total freedom encompasses the ability of some humans to oppress others and for wealth to concentrate significantly. So total freedom is the opposite of total equality. Total equality can only be achieved if you go in a more authoritarian direction based on the lessons of history, as the book is called. And it really lays out these concepts in a very, very good way. And where I end up after reading a book like this is thinking that on most issues of paramount importance to society and culture, extremist solutions are not sustainable long term. And the book, in talking about some of the cycles that we see, explains how waves of authoritarianism lead to backlashes that lead to less authoritarianism, which lead to growth in inequality, which lead to a different type of backlash, and the cycle sort of repeats itself. So in any case, this is just one example of what's in the book. The book is The Lessons of History by Will and Ariel Durant. You can find this and all of my recommendations at davidpakman.com/recommendations.